it's looking good for crypto. I just want to say that. BlackRock, Fidelity, WisdomTree, VanEck, and Invesco spot Bitcoin ETF applications will be added to the Federal Register tomorrow. The SEC could approve en masse if they want. This has been an ongoing thing. First they're filing, then they're getting rejected, then they're refiling, naming Coinbase as a surveillance sharing partner, and then they're being acknowledged, these filings one by one being acknowledged, and now here we are. This is kind of pivotal moment in this story surrounding these Bitcoin ETFs. We're going to cover why that is. I want to start here though. The world's largest asset managers are filing for spot Bitcoin ETFs and buying mining company stocks. The world's largest exchange integrated the Lightning Network. The halving is less than a year away. How can you not be bullish? Here's a Bitcoin chart. I asked the same question. We just survived one of the most brutal bear markets. And Bitcoin, though we're not at the next halving yet, perhaps we're not in this next bull cycle yet, we just survived all of that. And right now, the timing of all of the things that are happening, and these Bitcoin ETF filings are only one thing. We're going to actually talk about, the SEC and what they're doing and how the SEC is pretty much losing. Gary is losing. I want to talk about that after we cover this big news. But the timing of everything happening with where we are in cycles, it just could not be any better. It really couldn't be any better. I'm happy it's now and not here at a bull market high. And I'm actually very grateful for that. BlackRock, Fidelity, WisdomTree, VanEck, Invesco Spot, BTC, ETF applications added to Federal Register. So let's cover this. The Bitcoin ETF approval clock to start Wednesday. So that's like the big headline, I would say. The clock is starting Wednesday as 8 applicants named on Federal Register. The clock for SEC approval of spot Bitcoin ETF applications will begin Wednesday after all 8 applications were listed. New York Stock Exchange ARCA's 19B4 filing for the Bitwise Bitcoin ETP trust was published in the Federal Register today. This starts the clock for the SEC to review that filing. The commission has up to 45 days to either rule on the proposal or extend its review for an additional time period. While there's no guarantee the SEC will approve any of the applications, the filings by industry giant BlackRock has fueled speculation that permission is more likely. And not only that permission, and let me know in the comments what you think when this is going to happen, but not only the permission of it, but maybe fast. Maybe we get the permission, the approval fast. Let's talk about what's happening here. This is a really good tweet. As I stated just 3 days ago, the public opinion on Bitcoin is about to turn so fast you won't believe it. Here's Larry Fink talking about crypto.
It has a differentiating value versus other asset classes, but more importantly, because it's so international, it's going to transcend any one currency and currency evaluation.
It's going to transcend any one currency. So this is an important point. This is starting to really exemplify SEC losing. They're losing ground. They're losing momentum. They're losing any amount of leverage that they had. That's Larry Fink, BlackRock. Look at this. This is just from today. Bitcoin skeptic went on a CNBC this morning. Some actor went on CNBC. Just look at the response here.
You say you did a deep dive. It only took me about 20 pages of the Bitcoin Standard to understand that this was probably something that. Do you think all these firms are going to have egg on their face?
So it's a democratized, decentralized future of money.
So that's Ben McKenzie. He's an actor. He's anti-crypto. I can't help but think like the Elizabeth Warren anti-crypto army. It's like, how much are they paying this guy for this media tour attacking crypto? But it's just great to see just this comment that was made. It takes 20 minutes to understand how Bitcoin and crypto is good for the world. And this is my point. The narrative is shifting very quickly. While that's happening, we have this news. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong to meet House Democrats about crypto legislation. We're going to talk about Gary's losing ground. The meeting will concern digital asset legislation and related issues, including tax, national security, privacy, and climate. Remember, Coinbase is in this lawsuit with the SEC right now. So, as you know, this is from just June 6th, a month and a half ago. SEC sued Coinbase. It was looking bad for the crypto space. It wasn't a good thing, and it's still not great that this is going on. But what does victory start looking like? And we got a little bit of a taste of that last week. Judge ruling XRP not a security. Ryan Selkis over here on Twitter. The courts have found the SEC to be lazy. And this is bringing ultra clear perspective to what I'm saying here. SEC is losing ground. The courts have found the SEC to be lazy, overreaching, and unnuanced. Voters will agree, and PACs will make Gensler a household name and bureaucratic villain. President Warren's SEC chair, President Warren, Elizabeth Warren, SEC chair, will continue to rack up L's and lose the Dems the Senate if current trends continue. Now there's the key. A threat to their seats, a threat to the Democrats losing the Senate. Gary, if we define Gary, yeah, he's chair of the SEC, but he's a Democratic politician. He's looking to move forward in his career. You start losing points, you start losing battles. It's not good for your career. SEC is losing battles, and right now, as they're suing Coinbase CEO meeting with House Democrats about crypto legislation. Speaking of, Richie Torres, needless to say, regulating, and by the way, Richie Torres, congressman for the Bronx, needless to say, regulating digital assets through enforcement only had a dreadful day in court last week. In the wake of the resounding decision out of the SDNY Ripple case, SEC must reassess its continued assaults on the crypto industry. And just look at this. This is a letter from Torres. Indeed, the last court decision establishes a clear rule that should bear the name of Judge Torres, who has brought long overdue legal clarity to the chaos of crypto regulation. Look what he calls it. The Torres Doctrine, as I call it, holds that crypto assets are not securities in themselves, but can be sold as part of investment contracts, which do qualify as securities under the Howey test. Do you see the pivot that's happening right now, even within the Democratic Party? This is not good for the SEC. This is not good for Gary Gensler. Barclays joins Wall Street analysts calling XRP ruling positive for Coinbase. What happens with this Coinbase case? Going to be huge. All the while, U.S. lawmakers pressure Congress to pass crypto law. The pressure's on. The pressure's on, SEC. Following SEC's victory over Ripple, several U.S. lawmakers have called on Congress for regulatory clarity regarding the crypto industry. Gary Gensler's SEC cannot continue to pursue its regulation by enforcement approach, which only harms investors. I don't know why it says victory over Ripple. Ripple secured a favorable outcome regarding programmatic sales and other distributions. And this is what the chairman says. This decision underscores the need for Congress to provide clear rules of the road for the digital asset ecosystem. It's misguided to think otherwise. The ruling gives large institutional investors greater protections than everyday Americans. Outcomes like this happen when regulators force courts to make policy instead of Congress. Our comprehensive market structure legislation will give all investors, customers, and market participants the same long-standing protections found in traditional financial markets. Losing ground. SEC losing ground. Let me know what you think about all of these headlines. It's going to be very interesting and telling to see, will they, number one, approve these Bitcoin ETFs in mass, right? And number two, how quick do we get to a decision? Let me know. The time is ticking. The clock is ticking for a decision on these Bitcoin ETFs. Let me know in the comments below. Hit the like, hit the subscribe if you're not a subscriber. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.